Hey, happy Sunday, YouTube. How's everybody doing out there on this gorgeous sunny Sunday, at least here in North Carolina? How's everybody doing out there today? Welcome back, not only to the Bostonfan79V1 channel, but...
Yes, to the Rivera, aka Fort Minor Project channel. What is going on, guys?
And what is the good word? Like I said, hopefully you guys are having a really good weekend. I know we've been having nothing but a good time ever since yesterday.
Yep.
Yesterday got to be an exhausting day. We went around, we did some shopping, did some watching some wrestling last night, and it was great. Now, here's the thing. We are here today solely to report and to give our review on the UK tournament. Now, I do know that there is a certain individual out there on YouTube that, he's trolling, he's kind of being a jerk, but, and he's saying how much he doesn't like it, but that's not us. What we are is we stand for realism here in the YWC.
Yeah, for that too, and everywhere else.
Yeah, and everywhere else, and every point in between.
Yeah.
But we are here just to have fun, to give you guys a review of the UK tournament, Part 1. Now, overall, Brother David, what did you think overall about the first part of the UK tournament? Did you enjoy it?
Honestly, I think I really did enjoy it. It was definitely something different. It was somewhat a little bit of a similarity between the Cruiserweight Classic and how that brought that together. So this is only part 1 of the review. There's also part 2, which would be also for today because the UK tournament continues and it's the final part and to see who would be the champion. And with the championship, like I said, I'm actually really liking the championship title and design and how it's been looking lately. So now my only thing is who's going to be able to hold it and everything else in between.
Yeah, I mean, now for me personally, the UK tournament, the wrestling itself was pretty good, okay? There was some, for a 15-minute time limit matches, because they had, for time restraints, they had to keep themselves to a certain level, to a certain time limit to squeeze everything in a timely manner. Yeah. And so with that being said, I mean, the only kind of like sort of the downfall is because a lot of people here in America, like me, David, Simon, we don't know these people. Much like the 205 Live, we only, at least for that, we didn't know a whole lot of people for the 205 Live, except for like TJ Perkins, so we know who he was. But really, we didn't know who anybody else was. Right. With that being said, the UK tournament, the stars themselves of the UK, I knew nobody except for one person, and that was Mark Andrews, a.k.a. Mandrews from TNA Impact Wrestling. And so with that being said, let's get right into the UK tournament itself now. The build-up of a lot of these guys, at least about 90% of the 16 people that were chosen, a lot of people, these guys aren't built, okay? Built as in, like, muscle mass. They have really no muscle, not a whole lot of muscle at all. Yeah. A lot of people here in the YWC, IWC would deem them as vanilla midgets. They're not cocky. They're not arrogant. Well, you don't really know them.
Well,
okay.
I would actually announce them as light heavyweights, I think.
Yeah, I mean, about 90% of the roster, again, was really, they could have been cruiserweights.
Yeah,
okay. But, the fact, some of them, just a few of them were like, one guy was like 6'4", another one guy was like 6'1" or 6'2". A lot of them were like under, under the, around the 205 limit, maybe just a little bit over. Yeah. But that's not taking away anything from what they did inside the ring. What they did inside the ring, like I said, in my opinion, was actually pretty cool. So with that being said, let's get on with these 8 matches, okay? The first match that we had, Trent Seven versus H.C. Dyer. David, what did you think about this match, and what do you think about Trent Seven?
Well, in terms of the match and how that went, well, I actually enjoyed it. It was a nice start to kick things off for the very first match of the tournament and for the first round. I wasn't too sure who I was going to go with. I was trying to go with the video package that they did show each time before the match and who was able to be there. They were able to talk about themselves for a little amount of time. So with that being said, I wasn't too sure. I mean, I was in the middle between both guys. I was just going at it and see who's gonna basically walk out on top. But for both of them, I think they did their job, and I was pretty impressed with what I saw.
Yeah. Now, in my opinion, you know, Trent Seven, he seemed to have, in this tournament, ever since the start, the press conferences, this guy, in my opinion, has kind of stuck out like a sore thumb, okay? I mean, he's got this really big beard. I don't know what you call his hairstyle, but his wrestling ability, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I was real happy about the outcome. Like I said, not knowing any of these guys, I was happy for Trent Seven. And throughout this whole competition, in my own personal opinion, I think Trent Seven will be the one to hold the belt. I'm making that prediction right now here on both of our channels. So, yeah, I mean, Trent Seven, I think he impressed me a little bit. Now, with match number 2, Danny Burch took on Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, this match I do remember. I think that was the match where it was a little bit controversial, if I'm not mistaken, towards the second match. And it did get physical. I did like the guy, Danny Burch, I believe. So he was actually really cool. I was into that. And the way how things went down was a little bit odd, a little bit weird, but they still actually had a winner, if I'm not mistaken, overall.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Devlin, in my opinion, winning the match and going over on Danny Burch, I mean, it could have gone either way, but Jordan Devlin, he's kind of like that. He's got that crazy psychotic look in his eye. So I think he'll be good for competition for the rest of the UK tournament. And so, yeah, with that being said, it wasn't a bad match overall. Saxon Huxley versus Sam Gradwell.
Yeah, this one, I believe, wasn't too bad. Some were better than others, and I will say that. But, again, those two, especially with the other matches, I was just trying to go as is to see who I like a little bit more. So it was a little bit difficult to see who I actually wanted to win and go for my pick. So, in some terms, it was like a win-win situation. But with this, it was pretty good from what I remember.
Yes, I actually wanted Saxon Huxley to win the match, but that wasn't the case. But it was definitely, once again, pretty damn good match overall. Like I said, I didn't get my, pick in, unfortunately, but, that happens from time to time. Now, I'm going to talk about a guy I don't like in this tournament. I don't like this guy. I find him to be a little shit. He's like that guy he's like that younger brother that gets away with everything, between like stealing your shit, to, getting the last freaking popsicle inside the refrigerator after school on a freaking warm spring day, or making you slip on a banana peel for fuck's sake. Talking about Pete Dunne versus Ray Johnson. Now, I didn't really care for Ray Johnson that much either. But, Pete Dunne, he represents and he paid his homage to Daniel Bryan by wearing the maroon and the silver lettering. But, cool. Again, I don't like Pete Dunne at all. He's a little peckerhead, What do you think about the match? And what do you think about Pete Dunne?
Yeah, the match is actually good in itself. Pete Dunne is actually really good as a wrestler. I like the guy too myself. And the other guy, wasn't too bad, but in the end, it wasn't a bad match at all.
No, not a bad match, but, giving the size advantage to Ray Johnson, I would have thought that he would have gone over personally.
Yeah, I kind of thought he would too.
Next, we talk about good old Wolfgang versus Tyson T-Bone. Now, Wolfgang, for a big guy, for a bigger guy, very fluid in the ring.
Yes,
I must say. I mean, he's kind of tall, he's kind of husky a little bit, but he kind of moves around the ring kind of like a cruiserweight, which we haven't seen since Big Show or Kane first came into WWE, because those are two big guys, and when Big Show first came in, he didn't weigh a whole lot, so he would be able to kind of like go around kind of like a cruiserweight in the ring almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Wolfgang definitely impressed me. I got to be honest.
Yeah, in terms of like who I was trying to go for, I would have expected to T-Bone to actually get the win, but that really surprised me when Wolfgang, I believe, got the win there, and I actually ended up liking him a lot more than I did. So
Yeah, it was a tight match. It was a
it
real
really
tight
was.
match. I
Yeah.
mean, it could have really gone either way,
Mhm.
but because both guys are really kind of like they were big in stature.
Mhm.
They put on a hell of a show,
Yeah.
a hell of a match. But yeah, Wolfgang ended up getting the win on that one. Match number 6 is the one I really enjoyed.
Mm.
It was Joseph Connors versus James Drake.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
these two
Good.
guys, this is the one where we thought that
Mhm.
these two guys could actually be a tag team
Yeah.
because it seems like they have that ability to be fluid in the ring, to you know what's coming before it even happens, to they remind me so much of Adam Cole,
That's
from
pretty cool.
ROH.
Yeah.
With beyond a shadow of a doubt, I mean, I really enjoyed this match in particular. They're not the biggest guys, they're not really jacked, but
No.
their
Yeah.
wrestling ability, to me, this match was match of the night. What'd you
Mm.
think, David?
Yeah, very enjoyable for these two, and I don't know if they were a tag team before. Kind of got that vibe that they were, or they could be, in terms how they were very similar in terms of their look and their styles and everything. So yeah, maybe that would be a tag team in the future. Maybe we'll see them be back, but we'll see what happens. But other than that, yeah, kudos to them.
But yeah, Joseph Connors
Yeah.
ended up winning that match, by the way.
Mhm.
Match number 7, Mark Andrews versus Dan Maloney. Now,
Yep.
I got to be honest, I never thought for a second that that Mark Andrews would get the win.
Mm.
This surprised the shit out of me, because, and I can see it now, people saying they let the vanilla midget go over. But Mark Andrews, he's not that bad in the ring. But again, this was like another size advantage.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
Dan Maloney versus Mark Andrews.
Mhm.
And for I want to say Mandrews. I'm just going to say Mandrews. He got the win over Dan Maloney, but it really really surprised me.
Yeah, and I love the move that they did in the end to actually get the win, which is really cool. I like that idea, and I want to see more Mark Andrews, aka Andrews, in WWE. Hopefully, he will be able to stay. And that was a surprise to me because he's basically the only guy that I really know in the whole tournament. So that was really nice to see him from TNA to WWE and being in the UK Championship tournament. And I believe with him going into the next round for today, I think he'll do just as well too. So we'll see how far he goes.
Next, we have match number 8, Tyler Bate versus Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think this is the one that you were thinking of that that may have had the controversial finish. Or was it? Yeah, Tyler Bate versus Tucker.
Yeah, the main event.
It was the main event, and I can't remember if it was that one or one of the ones before that
I
had.
think it was the ones before that, like a couple matches before, where they just had that. Kind of reminded me of a Christian and Randy Orton feud that they had in 2011. I believe at Capital Punishment, where they were going for the cover, and then Christian had the foot on the bottom of the rope. Something similar to that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember that's the one where it was the one where somebody bled. Like
Yeah,
there was a
but
kick
this
to the
one
back.
was
There was a
different.
kick to the back of the head,
Yeah.
and it was 1, 2, and then it's like the 3.
Mhm.
When the referee hit the 3, that's when the guy got his shoulder up. But
Yeah, I thought it was a long 2 and then the kick out, so we had to watch it a couple
but I
times.
remember if I remember, yeah, Tyler Bate versus Tucker. One of them was like only 18 years old and 18 or 19, and had like this like blonde coif at the top of his head, but he's got a mustache. That's what Tyler Bate versus Tucker, and Tyler Bate ended up winning that match. But overall, definitely, not a bad match overall.
No.
Tyler Bate got the win, and so we'll see what happens from here on out.
Exactly,
And so, the UK tournament, it's okay so far. I mean, There are some people that don't want to give it a chance. Some people that just want to be ignorant and hate on it, but without even giving it a chance. But hey, we can only do so much
Right.
by giving you what me and him think. We're not concerned really about really what anybody else is doing or what other people are doing with their videos, trolling, whatever.
Yeah. It seems like it was a little bit slightly better built up besides the cruiserweights and everything, but this, I think, is going to be a mainstay once the tournament is done, especially for today with the finals, and to see who's going to be champion. And then I think they might be getting their own show. I'm not too sure. Maybe we'll get to see some of them on either Raw or SmackDown or NXT at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do get their own show, because that's one thing that, I mean, even Triple H went to say was that they're not in the UK that often.
No,
And
they're
so
basically there like, what, twice a year?
Yeah,
like in
and
the spring and then around towards Survivor Series.
right,
time.
and with that being said, I mean, I'm not sure not only British people would be going after it, but maybe people that live in Ireland and some of the surrounding countries, or if it's just strictly for like UK based. But yeah, I mean, and the UK, I mean, has a lot of really good competition, and
They
so,
do, yeah.
so with that being said, I mean, look forward to what's down the road
Yeah.
for the UK tournament. See where they go after the tournament, and like David said, maybe they might get their own show. Who knows? But because I don't think with a championship on the line that they would just leave it high and dry or in the water, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, so I think they'll definitely add more as time goes on, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. So this has been part one of the review for the UK tournament, and make sure to like this video, subscribe to to both David Rivera's channel, to my channel,
Definitely.
and hope you guys are, like I said, enjoying your weekend, enjoying our promo videos that we've been doing, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. I'll do my review for part two later tonight because I'll be here at the house. David will be at his, and so we'll see you guys real soon. Take it easy. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, people.
See you then.